Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with your Romancelandia Monthly for June because you get two this month. Listen, the RWA couldn't wait. If you're curious about that, I will link to the video down below or up above. Be sure to go watch it. That is going to be the one topic we don't discuss here because I already did a dedicated video on it. But we have a lot happening. I knocked on wood and I feel like the last week and a half, explosive, to say the least. And then it was almost meant to be that I had taken a minute to film this because some more stuff came out when I was going to film this the day before, and now I'm filming it the next day. And yeah, we had more things. So let's dive right in. I will end this on some positivity for us though, because again, some of this is going to be pretty intense. But if you need to skip anything, there will be timestamps down below to skip around as needed. Don't worry, I will give you prep when we start talking about some of the things that are going to definitely upset people. Rightfully so. So let's dive right into this situation. First up, we got to talk about Bridgerton. So I haven't even watched the new season yet because I've been so busy with the readathon that I've not watched it. And you know it's bad in the Bridgerton fan community when Julia Quinn makes a statement, which I think she's done almost every single season now. Because of fans being absolutely unhinged. But basically, Francesca's love interest seems to be swapped to a woman, and people are devastated and deeply upset when this series' entire production has already hinged on somewhat following the original text, but also veering off of them and updating them accordingly. These are not going to be direct adaptations of those books already. So I just was surprised to see this reaction. The amount of homophobia that I saw happening was astounding. So that's what happened if you were just like, Bridgerton fans are being awful, if like that's all you were seeing. It literally was people upset that Francesca is potentially going to have a female love interest, and people were very, very worked up and upset about it. But again, the adaptation and the book are two separate things. They always and forever will be, and I just don't understand the upset. I'm actually more excited now for that to unfold than I could have ever been before. Then we're gonna move right into one of the juicy items. This is a recent situation. A lawsuit has been filed. Actually, it was filed in 2022, but the documents have been released now. From Lynn Freeman, who filed suit against Emily Sylvan Kim and Tracy Wolff and Entangled Publishing, basically. So, what happened? What is going on? Because there's an 86-page document that I highly recommend you go scroll through the comparisons, because for me that was the eye-opening part personally. So you're just gonna scroll down in the document a little bit because it outlines every single thing, but I will give you the briefest summary I possibly can because this is a mess and I'm very, very curious to see where it goes because it does say trial demanded. I am not a lawyer, nor do I have a lawyer that I consulted with about this beforehand in any way to discuss it, like with any insight. So I'm going to tell you what I understand from the brief and what I believe happened after reading the brief. So we'll see what a jury decides when or if that happens. So Kim, is a literary agent who is also friends with Tracy Wolff. She misled and defrauded Freeman of her original work by continually having her revise this work and outline new materials for it like over 40 times. And then supposedly fed that material to Tracy Wolff to create the Crave series that has been pretty popular and lauded as like the next Twilight, so to speak. That's fascinating. So basically Emily Kim, this agent, took the books that she got sent by Lynn Freeman, gave them to Tracy, or gave her the outlines. She gave her things because there are very distinct similarities in this suit. If you go look at them, I'll throw some up here for you. And fed it to Tracy Wolff, a longtime friend. Emily Kim also sat on this manuscript for over 3 years and continued to have Lynn Freeman revise it and not send it out to query anywhere, which is really suspicious in my opinion. So now we have like that full suit, 86 pages of information, and it is kind of astounding because not only were there similarities, there were really close page numbers for a lot of the similarities, which I think is a little telling. The similarities go beyond just a basic like similar story outline. Like both of their books feature a heroine who is shipped off to Alaska after losing her family from like San Diego, something like that, like California-ish area, to a boarding school where she learns about paranormal beings. I think in one version her family's gargoyles and in the other version they're vampires or something. The love interests are described very similarly, and like again, when you start adding in that page number thing, things do not line up here in my opinion, and I think it's just really scary when you think about the fact that we also recently had an agent, this is not in romance, but when you take this case and put it up against a recent situation on Twitter, on book Twitter, with an agent asking for pitches after getting a pitch from someone that wasn't pitched this way but made them want this book. And instead of going back to the person who originally queried them with this book to like rework it, they tweeted out a request. Like literally said, just read a query that was essentially The Road Meets Deliverance. And now I want someone to write this for me, please. And then someone was like, with all due respect, like, do you not see how like disgusting this is? And like somebody else asked like, but not the querier. And they're like, no, the author didn't pitch it like that. And the opening wasn't strong enough. That agent lost their job. I'm just saying, like, so the Crave series thing makes me think of this situation happening right now. And that person lost their job. So I am just suspicious currently. And like I said, if you go through and read these court documents that I will have linked down below for you, Tracy and Lynn met like at RWA in 2012 or something. So like this agent introduced them to each other even, and then fed her this story supposedly. That is ballsy. That is a level of ballsy I don't understand. And overall, I'm just really curious to see where this unfolds, because I think I can definitely see in the documents, at least with the examples, there being a case of this author being defrauded of her work that she was querying and thought was like going somewhere, and instead was basically stolen from her. Instead it was stolen from her and given to another author to turn into a work for Entangled Publishing, which is questionable. Big content note coming up here for this next section. We are going to be discussing someone who was recently convicted of a crime and sent to the death penalty, and women being absolutely disgusting online about this man. I'm not going to go into too graphic of details, but if you do not want to hear about someone who was a domestic abuser, assaulted and murdered women, skip ahead, because I gotta give some context here, okay? Like, we just have to give context to the situation. Let's talk about Wade Wilson. And not the Deadpool one, who I love and adore. It is fantastic and would never do this to a woman. But the one in Florida. The one who in 2019 was arrested for murdering 2 women and was also been in trouble for domestic abuse with his girlfriend. He is a disgusting human. And he went to trial recently. And they show him walking out, and there are women commenting on the video that talks about him getting the death penalty for his heinous crimes, to which he fully admitted, fully gave details to, said that he ran one of the victims over until they looked like spaghetti. And this was after like abusing, like brutalizing them and all these things. Like, we just had the bear and or man conversation, and there are women in these comment sections basically saying, I can fix him, but daddy, I love him. I'm gonna throw some of them up here. He's hot. There's something wrong with me. This man has 2 swastikas tattooed on his face. What is wrong with you? And the worst part of all of this is that they're like, where's Booktok, blah, blah, blah. And every single person that I've ever seen comment like, Booktok, where's Booktok on a video, are generally not posting Booktok videos, if they post any videos at all. But 2, I only ever see them in these comment sections behaving badly. So I just want to state, as somebody who like dips in and out of Booktok as like a participant, we don't claim you. We do not claim you. We also don't claim you in the dark romance community. And I think I can say that with my full, like both of these statements fully. We don't claim you in the dark romance community, and we do not claim you on Booktok or any other bookish space if you are leaving these kinds of comments on videos and romanticizing someone who quite literally murdered 2 women with no remorse, with no issue. And you think you can fix him? Or he should be the next inspiration? Or, oh, it's like so-and-so from this dark romance. No, absolutely not. Because here's the thing. Fiction is fiction. We understand that. We don't need to bring that fiction to real life. We don't need to make someone who is guilty of something so gruesome and so awful and publicly comment on these things. I hope your friends see this. I hope your family sees this and says something to you, because if I knew anyone in those comments, the first thing I'm doing is texting them and yelling at them for what the fuck is wrong with you. The second thing I'm doing is I'm cutting them off. I'm done. Because you cannot come up here and do that. That is not okay. This is inappropriate. The victim's family and friends are seeing those comments. What is wrong with people? And then here's my thing that fully gets me on this, and the reason I want to talk about it is that now some of these people are mad because their comments got screenshotted and shared in videos. You said that with your face attached on the internet. You cannot be surprised when that happens. And you're mad because you're having like absolutely awful things done to you. Yeah, nobody deserves that, but also you just did that to other people. Just like, and I feel like I have to talk about it here, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to give this person attention. I want all the attention on his victims' families and everything, but y'all are disgusting. Flat out. And if you are watching this and you feel called out by these statements, the same thing when I talked about the Kraken situation and people sexually harassing the hockey players in the comments, and also same thing when they've been sexually harassing minors, you need to reflect on yourself and your actions and what you are putting on the internet with your face on it. I'm just saying, reflection is key there when you feel called out by something like this, because you are part of the problem then. Because my God, y'all, what is wrong with you? But the other thing I want to note here too that like absolutely annoys me is we are already fighting so hard against stigma and people being shitty to the romance genre and the dark romance genre in general, that you are not helping. You are hurting us at the end of the day more than you are ever helping us when you do behavior like this, because all it does is put the light back on the community as like, see, they are a problem. There's a problem here. If they can't differentiate fiction in real life, they have to take it to real life. They can't be appropriate. Like, you have to understand that those actions, when you are calling on a community that you may or may not like fully participate in, is hurting that community. So I just gotta say, like, those of us who are calling you out do not accept you in this community, but also you need to think twice about the things you are throwing back at the community with these things, because you can't comment on those videos with these things and then come back here and be upset when people are dragging their issues out with dark romance, because again, you are quite literally bringing that attention back to the community in a negative light yet again. So it's like we just have to start over and over, and we keep having to do this cycle with people like Booktok this, Booktok that, when there's a large portion of the community that is not that, but you get lumped in and put into these groups because of how these other people are behaving. So think twice before you are just absolutely disgusting on the internet, please. Please. On to less traumatic things, we'll call it. I don't know. Everything's upsetting. I had to pause for a minute and collect myself to come back to this, because I was like, that whole situation gets me heated. But we have a fun one. A fun one, kind of awful, kind of funny, weird one that happened. And this is about a Facebook group. And there's one thing about me that if you must know, it's that I don't really use Facebook. And honestly, I'm happy I don't. These groups stress me out. But this is about the Booktok Baddies Facebook group, I believe it's called, or the Book Baddies, something like that. And this is wild. This is very fascinating to watch unfold, because two things happened. One, I was like, why would you do that? And two, I was like, of course that's where this trip was. So I will reveal one of my least favorite places, which isn't like I'll never go there, because I do want to go back, because there's something there's a couple things I want to do there still, but then I will never return. There was a Facebook group admin, and the setup in this Facebook group was that there was wish lists, and you could buy items off the wish list that would go into different raffles and also buy you the opportunity to be selected to be featured on a thing. So like they do like a wish list day where people would gift the person who was selected different things. They would do a birthday raffle, things like that. Those things weren't happening. Literally, were not happening. So the admin that was organizing this was getting like DoorDash and all these different kinds of gift cards to do the thing, and was not doing the thing. And then they decided to plan a retreat, which I could never. Like, that sounds like a nightmare to me. And like, I love planning my friends and like trips with my friends and bookish trips like that, but you could not pay me to plan a retreat. And that retreat, of course, was at a cabin in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, the Myrtle Beach of the mountains, as I call it. I say this with love. Listen, I've been a lot of places, and let me tell you, if you want to sit in traffic in the beautiful place, Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg is for you, my friends. It is for you. If you want to sit in traffic in a beautiful place. If you want to sit in a cabin and read all weekend, it's a great spot for that too, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to leaving your space to get anywhere, nightmare. Absolute nightmare material, in my opinion. Again, I know people love it. I get it. I do think it's a great place to take your kids. There's a lot of kid activities there. So like, that part makes sense to me. But the rest of Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, that area, like, and besides going to Dollywood, I got nothing. There's a really good cinnamon roll. I got that. But yeah, and a lot of traffic. So much traffic. They went to Pigeon Forge on this trip, and they had a wish list where you could give snacks and different things to have at the cabin, paper towels, toilet paper, all these things, right? And you had to pay for your share of the cabin, of course, if you were going on the trip. And when the girls arrived to this trip, things that were donated were like already gone or half gone. Like the snacks that they knew were purchased were missing. Colleen Hoover supposedly gave like $2,000 towards food for the event, like for the weekend. There was like nothing there. I was astounded, but not. So yeah, like people donated, and then those people donating, right, like were authors and things, and these authors were supposed to get like their name on the back of the shirt for the event. They were supposed to get the ability to have a sponsored post sort of thing into the Facebook group, and all these like paybacks for giving to the event, which is normal. Like I've hosted events like not like this. I've done like a planner event where we had sponsors and stuff, right? So that's pretty normal like situation, and we obviously had our sponsors on stuff that we gave away and like thanked them. But yeah, like these people were able to sponsor the event and then never got the things they were purchasing with their sponsorship beyond giving to the Airbnb they were staying at. So this Facebook group has imploded. I will link, this lady did like a whole tell-all about it, but I just, again, like our last section, I want to give a little reminder that be careful where and what you do with things, okay? Be cautious. I am so sad for some of these authors because like I know that you think you're doing it like from a good place, but you know, like be cautious sometimes with how and where you put your money and what you give to things like this, because all these people just got scammed basically out of money by gifting it to this admin who was just like, sorry not sorry, and kind of apparently pieced out. And then I will say with this also, admins that left this group made a new group and then have since like posted like this was part of why we left the group and blah blah blah. So that's really interesting. Yeah, the girl who like committed all of this, like that did all of this, is just like, sorry not sorry, I did it, too bad. And yeah, I don't know, y'all. I don't understand what is wrong with people. I don't understand the like scamming happening in the book community, but also like I'm not surprised because I think having been part of the planner community pre-planner / during the peak, like you saw a lot of people scamming then too, and I feel like we're seeing that again here a little bit with the bookish space, and then like it'll taper off and chill out hopefully at some point. Are you ready for some good news? Because I am ready for some good news. I am ready for some fun stuff to close this thing out. Like I said, it's a heavy but quick month because I already covered the RWA thing. So let's talk about adaptions. We have 3 adaptions and a new fic that's been picked up that we have to talk about. So adaptions and recently acquired items is this segment. Let's talk about it. So Stacey Abrams' spy thriller Rules of Engagement has been picked up by Universal Pictures via Kerry Washington. So I'm very excited to see how this goes and where this heads. Fingers crossed we see something sooner than later, because this sounds really fun to me. I am so excited to see Stacey Abrams getting one of her books adapted. And again, it's a book series and I'm like, yes, please, let's adapt this. You know, there's other series I would kill to see adapted. The Old West ones by Beverly Jenkins or any of her historicals. What if they adapted the Destiny's Captive? Is that what it's called? The one where she's the pirate? Anyways, beyond the point. That would be fantastic. But either way, I'm very, very excited to see Rules of Engagement adapted. I've not read this. I will be reading it sooner than later. But I just think a spy thriller romance sounds like the perfect thing to be picked up. Next, Jennifer Lopez got options for Happy Place by Emily Henry for Netflix, I think is her production company is with. The only thing that has me like paused on this is that they say young adult. They say like it's a YA title, and Emily Henry doesn't write YA books. So is that a article issue error, or is that like how they marketed Red, White, and Royal Blue as YA and it's not YA? The movie, that is. I don't know, but I'm very curious to see this. I didn't really like Happy Places personally, but I do believe almost all of Emily Henry's books have been optioned at this point, so this was probably just the last one that hasn't been yet, and then I imagine Funny Story will be optioned or rights will be bought at some point. Then Butcher and Blackbird has also been optioned for a film, so this is really exciting. And I'm very curious to see how this plays out because I think it could be really fun. It is by the director who did the Lego movie. It will not be in Legos. That has been said. But I think this could be really fascinating. I'm very curious. And then another one that I'm not really excited for, but I figure we'll mention it, is Tilly Cole's 1,000 Boy Kisses has been picked up by Steven Chbosky, who did Perks of Being a Wallflower. Like, that author is directing this, and it'll be for Netflix. I have zero interest in this one personally. She's just not my thing at the end of the day. Okay, so before I do the next adaptation, what got picked up news, if you don't want to hear about a certain magical series having fics picked up, obviously skip ahead to the outro. Like, it's cool, you're good, don't worry. But this is the third one that I know of happening in 2024, like getting picked up, and that is the auction series, but it is now Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. This is a 3-book trilogy coming out in July 2025. This is a romantasy, dark romantic fantasy, in fact. Heroine is living in a world torn between two kinds of magic, heart and mind, and must learn to play a new vital role when she is captured as the castle is overrun by the enemy and she's stripped of her magic and auctioned off to the highest bidder. It's a 3-book deal starting July 2025. It will be out with Forever, in case you were curious. I'm very curious how this is going to go. I have acquired the original fic. You can still download it if you would like to. It is on AO3. But I'm really curious because this is another one that is pretty popular. Again, similar to Manacled, similar to the Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love also got picked up, I know. So this is 3 that I know for sure we have coming out mid to late 2025. I do believe the next fic movement is happening, and it will be Hermione. So I'm very curious to see where we go after that, because I'm really not sure. I wonder if it'll just be a smattering of fics adapted over time here or what, but I'm excited. I really love Julie Soto's writing, and I fully believe that she can adapt a fic to be published without the elements there, because she's done it twice already, like with no issue, in my opinion. So fingers freaking crossed this is bomb. I would kill for some good dark romantic fantasies from traditional publishers for a change of pace. Yeah, that is everything for this month's Romancelandia. I would love to know if you think I missed anything. Feel free to share that in the comments. Obviously this is filmed a couple days ahead, so like things happen in the time I film and this gets posted, but that'll be in July's update. Let me know if you think I missed anything, and if you don't want to do any of that, leave me a flower emoji of your choice down below. I will have links to articles and any of that info that you may want to check out for more details for you, as well as links to my friend anywhere on the internet. And as always, if you are a Romancelandia supporter or higher on my memberships on YouTube or Patreon, you get early access to Romancelandia. So if you're curious, you can always check that out, and to my very fun Discord. All right, I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get away. This is